Grand rising, my brothers and my sisters, God and goddesses, kings and queens in the four corners of the earth, grand rising. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Ocean of Truth. I'm your host, Ra Benu, and today I'm be talking about the four elements of earth and what it represents. Yes. There's gonna be like a little short video because it's like say I have a other one to join, like this, like as I need to talk about the four elements of the earth, so everybody who is following or who is subscribing or who is following up on my video, they will understand where I'm talking to. So every day the videos I'm doing is not really a full video because I'm always coming with another topic to fit in of what I was talking about in the last video. Yes. So we could have a general understanding of what's going on and how things work. So yes, today we'll be talking about the four elements of earth and what they represent. So today I'll be speaking about the elements and what they represent. So number one, earth. Earth. Earth is the mountains, jungle, forests, nature, plants, herbs, the mineral kingdoms. And what do earth represents? Earth represents stability, grounding, the body, material, wealth, and security. Now, earth, we all know that when we transcend and we goes, the spirit transcend, our body goes back to the soil, go back to earth, to Mama Earth. So earth represents stability, grounding, the body, material, wealth, and security. Now, grounding is a very important one because as an electrician, I'm an electrician, and as an electrician, we all know that ground wire protect us from danger. The ground wire protect us from getting electrocuted. So grounding is very essential. Whereas when things is not going good or we are feeling off in our frequency, we could always go to nature, take our shoes off and ground ourselves, whether it be at sunrise, whether it be at the midday sun, when the sun is at its highest strength, at its full strength. Let me say it in a correct way. When the sun is at its full strength, or at the setting of the sun. So grounding is a very important one. And of course, earth represents the body and the material wealth and security. Soil, stability, foundation. Yes, the four corners of the earth. Stability. Stable, like a car. If the car don't have four wheels, it's not stable. Or two wheels. You know, stability. We know everything is stable. Stability, number 4. My number in numerology is number 4. So earth represents these things. Stability. We see these things trickle back to the element of earth. Stability, grounding, the body. They say the body is the temple. What we have to do with the body, keep it. When they say keep it holy, it's not about keeping it holy. It's being healthy, eating good. Don't put in junk in your body, because you know your body is a vessel, is an avatar for the spirits. Is an avatar for the ancestors to use you. So the body and earth represents material wealth. We all know when you sow a seed, comes a plant. After a while, we reap fruits. It's the same thing in our social life, in our everyday life, in our environment. When we plant good seeds, not bad ones, good seeds, in due time, we reap the fruits of it, and we enjoy material wealth. So earth represents material wealth. So yes. Number 2, air. Air. When I think about air, I think about gravity, oxygen, and wind or breath. Breath. Breathe, oxygen, gravity. Air represents intellect, communication, creativity, perception, and movement. Breath, breathe, wind, intellect, and mentality. So air represents these things, And I will like highlight a couple of them, like communication. Communication. We all know that communication and our phones and the means to communicate with one another is signals going through air, the air waves. It's signals in the air. Air represents communication. In ancient times, our forefathers communicated through the air. Yes, communication. Intellect. Air represents intellect. The way how we see tornadoes or hurricane, these form of wind. This is intellect. And in the wind self, sometimes how the wind self does cause so much like disaster, not only disaster, but if you ever experience it, that you know that in a hurricane, how sometimes like the wind does even be like it's speaking in the wind. But it's the intellect of the wind. Yes, we say Ashe to Tefnut and not Tefnut, the deity over wind. Or because we just say Oya. But anyhow, thanks, because wind, air, is a really intellect thing. Yeah, the law of gravity. So air represents intellect, communication, creativity, perception, and movement. Creativity, I want to explain why air represents creativity, because everything where concerns creativity happens within. You have to close your eyes and vision things, and then there you create. You have to, like you meditate, you see something, you close your eyes, you meditate, you see something, and then when you open up your eyes, you create. But I want to explain that when you close your eyes, everything in is wind. We are a representation of the 4 elements of the earth. All these 4 elements we could find in ourselves. Yes, our body goes back to the earth, the air you breathe, but the wind. And inside of you have air. Air. Yes, air is inside of you. And water and the fire. But I'll get to that just now. So everything with creativity, just know you're dealing with the element of air inside of you. Creativity, perception, and movement. Because you close your eyes, you meditate, that's the air. It's like you're flying. When you're meditating, it's like you're flying, like you're going. You're like you're teleporting. That's the air. Perception, when you open up your eyes, and then movement to create it, to make it manifest. So yes, that is the second one, air. The third one, fire. When I think about the element of fire, I think about sun, lightning, energy. Fire represents passion, energy, transformation, willpower, and action. Flames, action, energy, and transformation. Fire represents passion. Passion. Yes, when you meet somebody for the first time, you meet a girl for the first time, you want to go on date with a girl for the first time, you go on date with her, or you meet her, you talk to her, and then when you have the first encounter, when you want to sleep with her, and the first encounter, that passion, some say the butterflies in your belly, some say the gut feeling, but the gut feeling is not that one. The gut feeling is for intuition, and I'll come to that just now. But the gut feeling or the butterflies at that time, when you're dealing with passion or when you're dealing with a female, that's the fire in you. That's the element of fire. We all know that. Our alpha males out there or watching this video, you know that we have this fire in us. That's what makes us an alpha male. And that's the element of fire within us. Yes. So that passion, that's the fire element in us. Energy. Fire represents energy. The energy, the energy, the current, the energy what we use to make our electrical things work. This is fire. The ground wire again protect us from getting electrocuted. So like in a bathroom, a bathtub, you putting on the shower cap and these type of things. If it didn't have a ground wire, you'd get electrocuted. So it protects you from getting electrocuted, protects you from danger. But fire represents energy. So the power what we use, and this solar power and the power and is fire. Yes, if it didn't have a ground wire, the ground wire wasn't in place, you would have seen fire. And in most cases, if something goes bad or if they don't have certain installations properly done or properly checked, it will cause fire. Fire represents energy. Transformation. If you ever light something and watch it, and just like how I have my fire, got some fire underneath here, and I always watch this thing, what I have here, and it's always amazed me that fire never stays the same shape or form. Fire always transforms. I want to say it moves, but fire transforms. So fire represents transformation. When you're having that transformation in your life, when you're transforming to become somebody else, when you're shredding your skin to become even a bigger snake, whatever you're doing, evolving, you're maturing, whatever, once you're transforming, just know that's a fire element within you. And willpower and action. So to my gods and goddesses, kings and queens, the willpower of some of us, when we see some of us, that willpower, that drive, and making action, that is the fire element in our brothers and sisters out here trying the utmost best to make a change, the utmost best to raise the consciousness of our fellow men. Yes. So fire represents flame, action, energy, and transformation. Yes. The last one, but also the important one. Just like how the first one was important, very important. All of them is important. That's why they make up the elements of the earth. And it's very powerful elements. So the last one is water. When I think about water, you think about ocean, rivers, lake, waterfalls. My YouTube channel name is Ocean of Truth. And I name it because the ocean is more water than land on this earth. So I said Ocean of Truth because the truth is the ocean. And the ocean, we know, is more water than land. So truth gonna compass all lives. That's how, in that kind of meditation, that's how I got that name, Ocean of Truth. Yes. Because even though you have so much lies, the truth is like the ocean. And that is more water than anything. And it's so crazy that we don't even know that probably like 90% of our body is made up of water. 75 to 90% is made up of water. So it's really crazy. Yeah, it's really crazy. Water represents emotion, intuition, healing, and flexibility. Yes. Water represents emotion, intuition, healing, and flexibility. Emotion, intuition, and flow. Like the river flow, let the water flow. Water represents emotion. When you're down, you're not feeling good, you're happy, you're sad, you want to cry. Emotion, water, emotions. Intuition, when you're on a spiritual, on a spiritual high frequency in the spirit, and you're in an intuition, and it's like your intuition is like working, that intuition. Some will say, oh, that's what I wanted to touch on. They say your gut feeling is your intuition. When you're in your intuition, that's most of the time when you're really on a spiritual high frequency in the spirit, your intuition works out of this world. Like when I'm really on my frequency, my high frequency, when I'm like not doing a lot of stuff where it concerns of, I'll just be eating just say like I just want to eat only my African food and no other kind of type of food. And then I'll be doing my spiritual bath, and then probably I'll be doing maybe 3 times in a week, maybe probably a fast and taking care of myself. I use only the African products. I'll be so high in the spirit that my intuition, I'll be hearing clearly voices like when to go and when to don't go, or like stop, look left or don't look left, like clear. So, and that's water. That's the water in us. Because sometimes, like some of our spiritual brothers and sisters know that when you're in the spirit and you're like teleporting or you leaving, it's air, but it's also water, yeah? It's like water. There's water in us because it flow. To go to your intuition is flow. So it's the water. That's the water element inside of us. So these are the type of elements I just wanted to touch on. because this is just a short video. I'll be having a other video. I did this video, so I just wanted to touch the basics of the 4 elements of earth. And then the next video, I'll be going in depth, so you will understand why I made this video, to just talk about the 4 basic elements and also talk about how important it is in our life, how they represent things in our life. If you're talking earth, stability, foundation, you're talking air, intellect, mentally, like, if you're talking fire, if you're talking water, you know the fire is the energy, transformation. We have to transform, we have to evolve. If you're not evolving, then we're dissolving. And then water is our intuition. So we could see that the elements of the earth is important to know, and also important. Why? Because it reflects a lot of things back in our daily lives, or things what we just deal with. So it's just for us to know this information, that we know when certain things going on, what kind of element we are dealing with. And we are a representation of these 4 elements. These 4 elements, earth, air, fire, water, can be found in us. Say for instance, like you're in your house and you're thinking like, how could I replicate these 4 basic elements that Ra Benu just said? You could simply go to the shop and get these simple products like water bowls, crystal water bowls, and put water in it. That represents the element of water. Incense, you light it, those incense, that represents air. Yes, the smoke goes up, it dissipates, we think, but it goes to the spiritual realm. It goes to the plasma realm. Yes, there's where it goes. Yes, candles. We all know that candles represent fire. And crystals, last but not least, crystals. Crystals, you need to have crystals in your house. I have a lot of them. Look, let me show you this one. I always have this one around my neck. Crystals represents earth. So you need to have these things, these products around you, because these products represents these elements, and these elements is forces of nature. We all know that. Whether it be tsunami, whether it be tornadoes or hurricane, whether it be earthquakes, yeah, and whether it be the sun, heat waves. The sun is so hot 7 days behind each other that it causing natural fire and all kind of stuff, that they have so much of wildfires in Los Angeles and those places in the previous years. We all saw those videos in the previous years, how natural disaster has happened from the sun, that the sun's so hot, how it caused natural fires. So these elements I just called is the elements of earth, but also what they represent, and also that they are forces of nature. Yes. And also the products what we could have to have in our house to replicate these forces of nature. That when we have a candle, some water, incense, and a crystal, what you're representing. And we all know, as our spiritual and in our spiritual practices, on our shrines and our altars, we always have the elements of the earth there. It's a must. So yes, so this is the ending of the program today, and thanks for tuning in. This your host, Ra Benu. Share your link, share your comment, drop your comment. Also hit that like button. If you didn't subscribe. I'll be just now highlighting some products I'll be selling, not a lot, but 1-2 products, but good products. Skin care, face care is essential for our melanated people, my brothers, my sisters, kings and queens, gods and goddesses. Know thyself and know thy way. So until the next time, until the next video, y'all, this was today's topic, the 4 basic elements of earth and what it represents. And I hope that someone got they learn something and they got the message. That's the most important thing. It's not about the messenger, it's about getting the message. So thank you all from Rabbeinu. Until the next time.